The PC case serves as the visual foundation of any build, but it dictates much more than just aesthetics. It defines hardware compatibility, cooling potential, and ultimately noise emissions. Because of this, the chassis is actually one of the keystones of quiet PCs. With our successful collaborations already delivering best-in-class quiet GPUs, a super efficient near-audible power supply, it felt like there was one piece of the puzzle still missing: the enclosure itself. Introducing the Antec Flux Pro Noctua Edition, an ultra-quiet ATX PC case. This model is based on the award-winning Antec Flux Pro chassis, renowned for its exceptionally low airflow resistance. We have taken that foundation and integrated our state-of-the-art NF-A14X25G2 and NF-A12X25G2 fans, along with a high-quality NA-FH1 fan hub for fully synchronized fan control. As mentioned, the Antec Flux Pro is already renowned and praised by tech media for its exceptional airflow performance. It builds on the F-Flux platform, standing for Flow Luxury. A core element of this Antec design is dedicated GPU cooling, achieved by keeping the entire bottom section of the case fully ventilated. If you're unfamiliar with the Antec Flux Pro, it's a sizable ATX case, designed for maximum component flexibility, supporting up to 285mm wide eATX motherboards and the massive GPUs up to 455mm in length. Storage options are robust, with support for up to 4 3.5-inch drives or 8 2.5-inch SSDs total. Cooling potential is massive, accommodating up to a 420mm radiator in both the front and top positions, with additional clearance for CPU air coolers up to 190mm tall. Power supply support is equally generous, fitting units up to 300mm in length, even with the installed hard drive cage. This means that the Flux Pro can easily fit the Asus GeForce RTX 5080 Noctua Edition, the Seasonic Prime TX 1600 Noctua Edition power supply, as well as our NHD15G2 flagship CPU cooler. Last but not least, it's going to be a perfect fit for our upcoming all-in-one liquid coolers as well. The Noctua edition of the Flux Pro offers more than just our signature colorway. It comes with a total of 6 of our award-winning G2 series fans. By retaining the original optimized fan layout, the optimal installation consists of 3 140mm fans at the front for intake, 140mm fan at the rear for exhaust, and 2 additional 120mm fans on the PSU shroud to feed fresh air directly into the main chamber. These fans are our latest flagship models and have received more than 100 awards and recommendations from international hardware reviewers. They boast an ultra-tight blade tip clearance, our novel progressive bend impeller, and the centrifugal turbulator hub. These technical advancements push the G2 series to the forefront of performance-to-noise efficiency. Our G2 fans' acoustics are further refined by using speed offset variants to mitigate periodic humming or vibrations caused by beat frequencies. These undesirable harmonic phenomena can occur when running 2 fans of the same size next to each other at almost the same constant speed. By utilizing 2 different fan variants, a slightly slower one referred to as PPA and the slightly faster one labeled as PPB, and arranging them in an ABA sequence, the overall cooling performance can be kept the same, while preventing unpleasant acoustic interference.
Given that this is a Noctua Edition product, we didn't just install our fans. We conducted rigorous testing in a controlled environment, verifying that the superior performance enables clear noise reductions with typical high-end configurations. The most critical test we ran involved a high heat load scenario, where we utilized an AMD Ryzen 9950X at 200 watts combined with a heavily overclocked RTX 4090 drawing 600 watts. Under this extreme 800 watt heat load, the Noctua Edition showed a clear performance boost over the standard Flux Pro across the entire RPM range. We saw a significant drop in GPU and CPU temperatures at noise-normalized levels, which in turn can be translated to up to 8 dBA lower noise output at equal component temperatures. We also tested a slightly more modest standard scenario with the RTX 4090 limited to its stock 450 watt output. With this configuration, we can see that at higher fan speeds, the performance curves begin to converge, indicating an operating region where the airflow through the case is sufficiently high that the cooler's air intake effectively matches ambient temperature outside the case. In this state, increasing airflow further yields diminishing returns. However, the advantage for the user remains clear. The Noctua edition allows you to run the fans at significantly lower noise levels while delivering the same component temperatures for the majority of the RPM range. Finally, we moved beyond standard single-point noise measurements to ensure that we captured the full acoustic picture. We performed comprehensive acoustic directivity testing by measuring noise emission from the front to the back of the case in 30-degree steps. The data we looked at previously was a simplification, in the sense that we had to condense all these directional measurements into single averages for a given fan speed. It was no surprise that acoustic radiation differs by direction. Our testing revealed that at 100% fan speed, the Noctua edition is slightly quieter when measured from the front, but marginally louder when measured from the side. However, when analyzing the 100% fan speed results, it's important to keep the context in mind. While the raw noise benefit decreases, we still see massive temperature improvements in very high heat load scenarios. Therefore, it remains the superior choice for systems with heat loads that generally require these maximum fan speeds. If we look at the results at lower fan speeds, it's the 50% fan speed configuration that shows the biggest advantage for the Noctua edition, combining significantly lower noise levels from all measurement directions with lower component temperatures. At 75%, the Noctua edition remains quieter from all angles while producing lower component temperatures. But improvements are definitely the biggest the lower you go in fan speeds, which is exactly what makes this case such a fantastic choice if you want to go as quiet as possible. One key takeaway of these tests is that more is not always better. We encourage every user to experiment a little to find where the sweet spot for their system lies, rather than just running the fans at full blast. The reality is that you will likely be able to drop fan speeds quite significantly without the relevant thermal disadvantage. In the end, this case is about headroom. As we have seen from the data, the Flux Pro Noctua edition is capable of handling extreme heat loads with ease, but its true strength lies in the flexibility that its performance to noise efficiency brings. It gives you the power to handle the hottest hardware of tomorrow as quietly as possible, but at the same time it also enables you to drop noise levels even further if you're running less power-hungry parts. This makes the Antec Flux Pro Noctua edition an ideal home for quiet builds of any caliber. We hope you enjoyed this deep dive into the acoustics and performance of the Antec Flux Pro Noctua edition. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one.